Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage, hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week we're going to be showcasing a Fate Apocrypha deck of all sets, posted by Nuke in the Base Damage Discord. Thank you so much for sharing this, my dude. I haven't looked at Fate in a hot minute here, from especially the Apocrypha stuff. I liked a lot of the stuff from it. I just ended up not building as much from it as I thought I was going to, also because the Mordred cards were like balls expensive. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into this. We have a 4 standby, and my head's covering it, 4 salvage deck here. I noticed, I recognize some of these cards. I want to say this is from the trial deck. Yeah, this is from the trial deck. Okay, so I do remember some of these, but for the most part, I think a lot of these are like on the cheaper side. I don't remember if the Assassin of Black was still like cheap or anything. I just don't remember, but anyway, it's called The Gardens Are Most Definitely Hanging, talking obviously about Semiramis. I know, yes, it's supposed to be Assassin of Red or whatever, but I'm probably just going to refer to them by their actual like servant names. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Thank you once again to Nuke. Let's dive in. Apocrypha Shiro, basically Amakusa, is a 3/2/9/5. I'm going to be relearning a lot of these effects today. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's been so long. Let's see. Placed on stage from hand, this gets plus 1500 power till end of turn. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may choose a master or servant character in your waiting room, return it to hand, so it replaces itself. Okay. Oh, that's even more important. Oh, okay. Climax combo. Up to 1 time per turn when your battle opponent becomes reversed. When Conflict of Desires, which is the salvage trigger, is in your climax area, you can pay 2 and discard a specific Assassin of Red before the throne. Okay. And if you do, stand this card. So pay 2, pitch 1. Before the throne, it's the level 1. Oh, so you have to run these two together. I say have to, but it's pointless not to run them together. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, just was double checking the name. So you do have to discard this specific one. So it's even more important for the on-play salvage effect, because if you don't have this, you want to get it. Or I guess you could play this, grab another copy, play that, grab a copy of this, and then go like two restands or something like that. So 3 copies of that, 2 copies. Okay, this is from the trial deck. This is the Siegfried level 3, 3/2/9/5 Volition. This gets 500 power for each of your other master, servant, or homunculus. So every trait in the entire set. And on play, heal 1. I guess that's fair. You kind of have to have a healer in here. So 2 copies of that. 2 copies of Massacre, Assassin of Black, Jack the Ripper. 3/2/10k. During this card's battle, all players cannot play backup from hand, which is really, really funny to me. Being able to stand by this in, and then your opponent's just like, well, I can't anti-change it if you swing with this first. They can't. It's just funny. When this is placed on stage from hand, draw 2, discard a card. Very nice. When this attacks, you can pay 2. You can discard 2 cards. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. A little bit of off finisher right there. Always good. And that's it for the level 3s. I will admit that feels a little bit low for a level 3 count, but I do see quite a few level 2s in here. And you do run a much higher number of level 1s. Oh, you do have the 1/1 Karna, so you have all the standby stuff. I guess it feels like I don't know. I'm so used to seeing standby decks with anywhere from like 10 to 12 level 3s, depending on what you have. But it's also Fate Apocrypha. There was only but so much in there, to be completely and totally honest. So understandable. All right. So anyway, moving on to the 2s. Promised Feast Mordred is a 2/2/7,000. When you play this card from your hand, you may choose one of your cards named King of Knights Altria. Put it into your waiting room. If you do, you may play. I accidentally clicked off of it. If you do, you may play this card for 0 cost, but you're playing standby, so you're playing it for 0 cost anyway. That Altria is not in here for obvious reasons. If the number of other master servant characters you have is 2 or more, this gets plus 2,500 power and character encore. From hand, had to specify. I've seen a lot of encore abilities now stating from waiting room, deal yourself a damage from waiting room or something, so I had to make certain. So it'll be a 95. Cool. 3 copies of that. 2 copies of Taunt Achilles. Don't tell Penthesilea that she's over here, or that he's over here. 2/1/6/5. If the number of your other master servants is 2 or more, he gets 3k. And also a character encore from hand, basically. So once again, also like a 95, but the Mordred's better because she ends up having 2 soul, so you get to push for damage. Transformation, I was about to say completely wrong name, and I realize it's Atalanta. It's a 215k, a level assist in front. An act, pay 2, sack this, choose up to one card named Demonic Beast Strength Archer of Red in your hand, and summon it. You don't run any other Archer of Reds in here, so you're not doing that for the early play. It's solely for the level assist. Very understandable, though. The 1/1 Gold Armor Karna is a 1155. It's your typical level 1 standby target. Yeah. Character encore, and also basically with a full field ends up becoming a 75, so understandable. 3 copies of that. 3 copies of Before the Throne Assassin of Red. It's a 103k. When this card attacks, if a card named Hanging Gardens of Babylon is in your climax area, you could pay 1. If you do, choose a character in waiting room, return it to your hand, and this is a level 1 or lower reverser. Okay. Very understandable. It just feels like such an old effect. I mean, it is. This set's like old as shit, but like, believe me, I love Fate, believe me, but I just look at this and go, wow, this is so generic. It's like, I hate to say at this point, this is less than generic. There's so many effects now that are like on attack as long as you have like a certain number of characters on the field, just salvage for free. And it just feels so weird to see like a pay 1 on that, on a standby combo of all things. Oh my god, oh, how many is this? 3 copies of Frankenstein, 105k. Up to 1 time per turn when you use an act, so that's any act, even backups. This gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put the top card of your deck into your stock. So a little bit extra stock production there. I don't see any backups in here, which is funky. I mean, that means you would blind stock on your opponent's turn. It's kind of funky. But if you could, and you could stop like something with the backup, it would get that effect. But I don't see any backups in here. I guess you're just focused on just punching as much as you possibly can. Hey, it's understandable. We have the Mordred Brainstormer. First off, this has hexproof. It can't be chosen by your opponent's effects, which is just funny as all hell to me. Your other character in the middle position of your center stage gets 500 power. And Brainstormer, pay 1, rest itself, mill 4 for each climax, salvage back a character. 2 copies of, well, what the fuck? Shadow Maneuvers, Shiro Kotomine and Assassin of Red, 0025. Oh, this is from the trial deck. It's the Drop Searcher. Just on play, pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck. Okay. Always good. Always got to have those. I almost feel for this, you might want to bump this up like a couple copies or something. Oh, I actually forgot this Amakusa Shiro comboed with the standby as well. I actually completely forgot about that. Let's see. 2 copies of this Promised Rematch Karna, 002k. Placed on the stage from hand, discard a climax to salvage back a Master Servant character. Awesome. 4 copies of this. Why are you running? Oh, so you make certain you're able to play 2 of this. Ah, got you. All right, so it's a 0015. When a card named Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which is what the Semiramis combos with, is placed in your climax area, you can bounce this card back to your hand. If you do, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 card amongst them, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room, then discard 1 card. So you're trying to my brain, I can't words right now. You're trying to hand fix a whole bunch. Thank you. You're basically trying to cycle through and hand fix what cards you need. I couldn't think of the word. Also, it has an act of rest this, give a character 1,000 power till end of turn. 4 copies of the Freerunner Astolfo. Just, oh god, so adorable. 2 copies of Genesis Caster of Black. This is from the trial deck. So it's just your typical pay 1, tap itself. This is back when it was still mill 4. I know nowadays the draw Brainstormers are mill 5, but it's mill 4 for each climax, draw 1. But it also has, when a climax gets placed in your climax area, choose one of your characters. It gets 1,000 power till end of turn, which is very understandable, very good to use in my mind, where the standby doesn't give you any of the buffs or anything. At least playing this lets you give a character some kind of buff. Not that you have to reverse or anything, it's kind of whatever, but still. Then we have 3 copies of Summoning Rite. This is also from the trial deck. It's a 1/0 red event. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 master or servant character amongst them. Reveal it to your opponent. Put it in your hand. Put the rest into waiting room. The profile for this has been reprinted on a billion different cards, but it is just your typical like kind of dig and replace it with something else. Try to put something better. Try to dig a little bit deeper. Put something better in your hand. 4 copies of Hanging Gardens of Babylon. I thought that was going to slide down if I did that, but it slid the whole page. And 4 Conflict of Desires for the level 3. My voice is slowly fading, but thank you very much. That is going to be it for this particular deck today. Really cool deck to show off. Like I know it's not the strongest in the world, but I love Fate. I don't care. I saw this and I said, fuck it, we're tossing it in a video. So kind of had to. It's just so like fun. I wish they did more with Apocrypha, but I also know they basically made cards for like everything all the way up through the end of the series. It's not like they did it like halfway for one set and then waited to like capitalize on like a second set or anything. I wish they did though. It would have been cool to have more cards, but whatever. But that is going to be it for us today. Thank you once again to Nuke in the Base Damage Discord. I thank you very much for sharing this today. And if you want to share your own decks with us, feel free to join the Base Damage server. The link for that will be in the description. There will be 2 different channels that you can check out. There will be a decklist submissions and just a Community Fridays channel. Feel free to post whatever decks you want in either of those, and I check through like near about every other day to see what new stuff people have shared, who's been cooking. It's just been really, really fun to check through all the crazy stuff. And yeah, just stuff. If I see cool stuff like this, or maybe something you don't see a whole lot nowadays, like a Fate Apocrypha or something else, I typically gravitate more towards those than like the meta decks that people post. I still share those, but it just depends. That is going to be it for us today. Thank you very much once again for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that cringy YouTuber shenanigans, and we will see you on the flip side. Stay based.